Hello, I'm Dr. Harper. This video is a syllabus video for Operations Management, the one-year MBA, 6270, Spring 2023, Term 4. So let's bring up the syllabus. So the syllabus for Term 4, the course is active between January 10th to February 10th, and what that means is there's nothing really required before January 10th other than just maybe obtaining material. But nothing is due before, and the February 10th is the end of the course. Nothing is accepted after the end of the course. I'm Dr. Harper. This is the course description out of the catalog, and so here's a brief summary. The way I have my schedule here in this summary is that first of all, we have a week beginning on this date. This is on a Monday. The sessions are on a Friday of that week, and they go from 8:30 to noon. The content of the sessions is first I have a lecture, which is in class, homework, which you submit through Canvas, and then the exam is in class down here at the bottom. Okay, notice the lecture's topic is here, and that will be on January 13th. The homework is due the next week on January 19th, which is a day before the next lecture. Okay, so this week of January 9th, essentially it will go to the second week, which is January 19th. And so I really overlap these. And the reason I do that is because students ask me to, because they can get done with the homework somewhere this second week before the 20th, but they want to start on the next one. Once they get the homework done for this topic, they want to start on the next topic. So I open this up early. Okay. So it is not due until they have that whole next week to do it. And then during that week, on your own schedule, you can open up the next topic. And so that's how I have this on topic 1, which is Introduction and Forecasting, Aggregate Planning, Inventory Control, MRP and Scheduling, and then the exam is in the last session. Now in this exam review, I will go over the exam review the week before, and I opened this up a week before, but the exam is in class over topics 1, 2, and 3. So even though this is not due until February 9th, this topic is not part of the exam. Topics 1, 2, and 3 are part of the exam, and that's an in-class exam. The end of the course is February 10th. Nothing is considered after the end of the course. And notice up here, submit homework here. Oh, and then the homework, the due date is on Thursday here. The due date's Thursday before the next session, lecture. Okay. Notice the homework assignments are through Canvas by 11:59 p.m. on the due date, and these are on Thursday night. And strict, no late assignments are accepted. That's a strict policy. Nothing considered after the end of the course. That's a strict policy. So be very careful of that. Start early and get things done early. And I mentioned that in the welcome video. Grading. Grades are based solely on the percentage from the grade measure performance. And the performance on these grade measures, the 4 homework assignments and the exam. The percentage determined from the points earned out of the points possible. In other words, it's not subjective, it's objective. In other words, you have 10 points for each homework and 10 points for the exam. The points you earn out of the total possible, that's a percentage. And that percentage over here is compared to A, B, C, D, F. And I round up. Notice there are no plus minus grades. There's just A, B, C, D, F. There's no curves, and there's no extra credit. And the rounding conventions are 0.5 is rounded up and less than 0.5 is rounded down. In other words, if you have 89.5, that's rounded up to 90, which is an A. If you have less than 89.5, like 89.49999, that's rounded down to 89, which is a B. That's the rounding conventions. Now, those rounding conventions are not only for the exam, for the grades, they're also for the homework, for the exams, for everything. Okay, for this course. Each homework is 10 questions, 1 point per question. The exam is 10 questions, 1 point per question. And all assignments submitted through Canvas, exam is in class. End of the course is February 10th. Nothing is considered after the end of the course. So there's the schedule. Now going into the detail here, the course material for the course, a required textbook. This is Heiser and Render, and this is a textbook. A lot of people learn differently. Some people like reading a textbook. Some people just like listening to a lecture. Some people like doing the work. So you'll have a different workflow. But this textbook is required, Heiser and Render, and Canvas is required because there's where you have links to videos, which I'll talk about in a minute, and you'll have a submission of assignments, download of assignments, etc. Okay. Workflow. The general workflow for a session will begin with a review. That review a lot of times is the previous semester, the previous session, going over the homework, any questions about what we've done so far, just general questions. Then the lecture for that day, and the lecture is the material, and then introduction to the assignments for the next week. I'll talk about the assignments and how to approach them and how to work them. For every session, resource material will be available in Canvas. Before every session, each student is encouraged to utilize the available resources according to each student's learning style. And what I mean by that is some people like to read and then look at the videos. Some people look at the videos and then read. Some people like the videos and the homework. So each person has a different learning style. Learn what's right for you. There's a lot of resources. Learn how to use the resources. Our resources include reading from the text, lectures, notes available through Canvas, and videos available through links in Canvas and also those links in Canvas do not reside in Canvas. They're links to YouTubes in my website, mdharper.com, which I'll go to in just a second. Learning objectives will be presented and discussed in more detail during the lecture sessions because the learning objectives change with every topic. Okay, here's the required readings of the textbook, Heiser and Render. And essentially what I did, I took the introduction, forecast, anchor, planning, inventory, and I said, okay, well, in some cases, I have the pages and Latin folio and following. In some cases, I will have the exact pages between 491 and 493. Okay, and so there's the readings. Okay. Before I get to policies and procedures, let's bring up Canvas. Okay, now in Canvas, you can see here I have the welcome video, the syllabus, and this syllabus video is this video I'm making right now. And so when you go to, let's say, Introduction and Lectures, and notice my resources that I have, a Word file, that's the lecture. I have an Excel file. Often I have an Excel file to support the lectures. And sometimes I have an Excel file to support the homework. In other words, here's how you do the homework. I have different kind of videos. Here's a presentation video, which is an introduction to the topic. Down here I have a lecture video, which is a lecture of the topic, which goes into details. And then I have a homework video, which shows how to do the homework. And so I have other types of videos, and those other types of videos you'll see on mdharper.com. Let's go back to the home page. In the home page down here, mdharper.com, and there's my link to my site. If you go to my site and under Operations Management, and you'll see here, I have a lot of Word files, I have videos, I have Excel files, I have a lot of resources here beyond the course. If you want to go much further beyond this course, then these resources are here. For example, here I have break-even analysis and time conversion. This time conversion I will review, and we will visit that when we get to stochastic inventory control systems, which is realistic systems. I go start with a textbook thing, then go into realistic type systems. Okay, and then if you notice, I have other tabs here: project management, supply chain management, decision analysis, statistics, that I'm building even now. Okay, going back to this module, down here you'll have, here's where you download the homework questions, and I'll talk about this in the syllabus, but I'll show you here's where it's at. You download the homework questions. Those homework questions are all multiple choice. It's a Word file, and you see here it is a Word file. Download the questions in a Word file, go through them. Down here to Q&A. This is a Q&A link, threaded discussions for to talk, share information, questions, answers, and other items used for learning. Let's back up. Go back to the page. This Q&A is useful for discussion and collaboration between students, ask questions and share information. I have a video file to show you exactly how to work the problem, and these homeworks that I'm working are the same homework problems but different numbers. In other words, it's going through the material, but it's from another, it's a different material, different numbers to work the problem. The process is the same, the numbers are different, then you can follow along. And then down here, share it with your colleagues. Now, once you have all the answers, only when you have all the answers, then click Submit and submit all your answers. It's all multiple choice. Okay? And then after the due date and time, I put the answers right here. Notice blue is active, black is inactive. Okay. Let's go back to the syllabus. Policies and procedures. Okay, first of all, I start with the course objectives. I won't read all of this, but this is my objectives for the course. It will survey. It's a survey course. We're not going to go into depth because operations management is a huge topic. We're not going into depth in any one of these, but I give an introduction into the concepts, methods, and strategies. And the reason I have concepts and methods is that they go hand in hand. Here's how to work a problem. Here's why you work it that way. And then you back up with the concepts, how the concepts are applied. And then I talk about strategies. Recognition of problems, application techniques, communication results are emphasized through lectures, assignments, and exams. And the lectures are in class and online, and my videos. And the assignments are the homework, and the exam is in the course. Now, recognition of problems are important. I'll talk about this more in class, where you have to recognize what the problem is before you can solve it. You have to apply the technique correctly. In business, the techniques very often are incorrectly applied because they don't understand the problem. They don't understand the actual concept or the techniques. They just plug and crank into software. It gives them an answer, and it's a wrong answer. And they think the software is wrong, but they're not using the software correctly. And then finally, communication results. What do they mean? What do they not mean? And we'll talk about that in class. Okay. Here's a course design. Homework assignments will be made available in Canvas at appropriate times during the course. Will be submitted through Canvas according to the syllabus due date and time. Homework as assignments are primarily designed to apply problem-solving approach to operations problems. And in so doing, I do the problem-solving approach along with the concepts so you can learn how both of these really apply. Solving problems without the concepts is just plug and crank, and you're not really doing business. Understanding the concepts without really solving anything, you know what you'd like to do, but you can't do it. So both of those go hand in hand. Additional learning objectives specific to each homework assignment will be addressed during the course. I mentioned that before. Exams are open book, open notes, multiple choice timed, and I will give you an exam review guide before you take the exam. The course grade is based solely on your student performance, which I've mentioned. No curves, no extra credit. I say it again here. And here's the rounding conventions that I've already mentioned. Collaboration is encouraged, which I've mentioned not only in here, but I mentioned it also. I'll mention it here. I also mentioned it in the welcome video. It's encouraged, highly encouraged through the Q&A, question and answer, threaded discussion. However, each student is responsible to submit the work based on their understanding and ability. Don't submit someone else's answers. You collaborate to learn and submit what you think the answers are. You may agree with them and you may disagree with them. Everyone's not always right. Lack of collaboration or failure to attend class does not eliminate a student's responsibility to submit assignments when due. Okay. Communication is important. Communication has really been important because every faculty member does communication differently. And they come from one class to the next as you don't communicate correctly because my last course did it this way. Every faculty will do it differently. And here's my communication profile here. Communication in this course consists of one-way and two-way channels for different purposes. And let me stop right there. A big mistake that students make in my class is they don't use all the communication channels. They try to use one and they say this doesn't work. Well, this channel wasn't designed for that. This over here was designed for that. So utilize all the communication channel resources in order to get as much information as possible. Again, learn how to learn your resources. One-way communication will include lectures in class and online, Word files, Excel files, and videos I provide in Canvas during the course. Use all of them. Two-way communication channels include asynchronous Q&A, question and answer threaded discussions between students. Make sure you use those all the way through the course and use them liberally. Asynchronous Canvas messaging with me, and that's my primary communication. Synchronous virtual Zoom hours with me, and synchronous in-person office hours with me on campus. And the office hours will be posted on campus. So the reason I do that on Canvas is from time to time, because of meetings, because of travel, sometimes I have to shift the office hours in person around and even Zoom around. Most importantly, each student is responsible to utilize all the resources available in this course for learning and use the two-way communication channel to support the learning resources. Do not rely on two-way communication channels for learning in this course apart from utilizing the learning resources. Use all of them. Again, learn what's right for you, but one is better than the other, but make sure you utilize all of them when necessary. Communication between the students will be through Q&A, link in Canvas for each topic. Use the Q&A for Canvas for asking questions about the course, which include sharing answers, it's fine with me, about the course material, sharing information, and any other collaboration helpful for learning. Although collaboration is encouraged throughout the course to learn the material, each student is required to submit original work. No collaboration is allowed on the exams. Communication with me will be primarily through Canvas messaging between Monday and Friday of each week. I will visit Canvas messaging frequently through Monday through Friday throughout the week. Use Canvas messaging for personal communications about the course in general. Also use Canvas messaging to invite me to address issues within the course or questions about the course material not resolved in the Q&A between students. So the Q&A is for the students. But if there becomes something not resolved or an issue, then you alert me and I will answer that. In other words, usually 80-90% of the time students can solve problems on their own. If someone is not comfortable, ask me and I will address that. Yeah, that's fine. You're correct. Or no, you're not. This is a better way to look at it. Or this is the way to look at it. I will not answer questions about the course material in Canvas messaging. If a question about the course material is posted to me in Canvas messaging or an alert to a need in Q&A, I will copy the question and respond to the question in Q&A for all the students to benefit from my answer. That's my policy. I will stick to that policy, and so that you will know that if you ask me a question, I'll post it in Canvas and say this really should be in Canvas. And sometimes, depending on the question, I will post it in Canvas and let students answer the question. Often, if they ask me a question, that question has already been answered in Q&A. So use the Q&A. Because usually a student can answer a question to a student, if they know the answer, much better than I can. Because the student level is learning, and I already know this stuff. Sometimes I answer things, they go, what? And I don't really answer the question directly because I don't understand where you are, because you ask a question usually very simple with few words, and I interpret that to be something that it's not. I go much deeper than you need. Okay, I hope you understand that. Since email has been unreliable in the past, use email only when necessary. Do not rely on email as primary communication, especially about the material. Should communication using email be deemed necessary? Sometimes it is. Use this link as my email address, and include the subject area, in the subject area, AMBA 6270, so I know which course you're in. And that's important. Otherwise, I may not even receive the email. Often, I do not receive the email. This has been a problem. If they look up Harper and they click it, there's more than one Michael Harper at CU. And I get people all at the different campuses getting my email because students don't follow these guidelines. Also, if you don't say AMBA, tell me what course you're in, because you can ask a question, I will answer it relative to another course, and it won't make sense in this course. So this material has different shades of meaning. Okay. Collaboration is a responsibility of each student. Lack of collaboration does not eliminate a student's responsibility to submit assignments when due. Now this last one usually is not a problem, but I state it anyway. In some cases it is. If a tutor is used, and every semester people say they use tutors, but not everyone. If a tutor is used, which is the responsibility of the student, be careful to use the tutor appropriately. And what I mean by that is students have used a tutor to answer the questions for them without actually use the tutor to learn the material so you can do the work. Don't use the tutor to do the work for you. Okay. Submission of homework assignments. I've already mentioned this. Homework assignments will be assigned and graded. Homework assignments will be available on Canvas and submitted through Canvas. No late assignments are accepted, and that's a hard and fast rule. Answers to assignments and grades for assignments will be posted on Canvas after the due date. Okay, submit answers to the homework assignments through Canvas. They were posted on Canvas. Carefully follow this procedure. Now, this procedure right here, I've already mentioned, and be very careful with this. I post the question, let me just describe it. I post the questions through Canvas in a Word file. Download the questions in a Word file. Get all the answers. They're all multiple choice. Get the multiple choice answers. Get all of the answers. Only do not open the submission link until you are ready to submit all your answers. Once you have all your answers, then submit the link. And then click the link and submit your answers. You have only 60 minutes to submit all your answers. And usually people do that in 4 or 5 minutes. Click, 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 you're done. At the most 5 minutes, okay? Because you have all the answers, you click, 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 click. Okay. However, it has to be done before the due date and time, which is 11:59 p.m. Sunday night. Thursday night. On Thursday night. Sorry. Thursday night. So if you open it up 11:58, you have 1 minute because the due date and time supersedes the 60 minutes. It has to be done before the due date and time. Once you open it, you have 60 minutes as long as it's before the due date and time. So be very careful of that. And no late assignments are accepted. This policy is strictly enforced, no exceptions. All assignments are to be submitted through Canvas. However, in the event submission of an assignment through Canvas is not possible for a number of reasons. I will accept an assignment submitted by other means. For example, email or Canvas messaging. Sometimes they'll message it to me. If the submission of the assignment has a justifiable digital date and time stamp, and it's by the due date and time. And that pretty much happens every semester, and that's fine. If I get it, that's fine, and I will accept it, as long as it has a dated, a justifiable digital date, time, and stamp. Any graded errors on the assignments should be resolved as soon as possible, and sometimes there are errors. Sometimes it's my error, sometimes it's Canvas, but errors happen, and I get things. Sometimes Canvas gets things mixed up. No corrections to graded material will be made after the end of the course, so make sure you review those answers and just go through them and make sure that they're correct. Collaboration is encouraged but not required. Okay, now the exam is designed for evaluation. Now what I mean by this, examination designed for evaluation, I consider the homework learning, the lectures learning, the videos learning. I don't think examination learns that much. The preparation you learn to take an exam, but the exam is designed for evaluation. Evaluate what you know. And I will be very careful to ask questions about things that you should know. I don't want to ask questions about things you don't know or you try to figure out. I don't consider that, I don't use that in this course. To evaluate what you know. Therefore, I'll be very careful to ask you things you should know. And the exam will be in class, open book, open notes, and timed. No collaboration is allowed. Collaboration is cheating and constitutes academic dishonesty. So each student takes their own exam. Okay. No sharing of material, no sharing of answers or anything. Take your own exam. And if academic dishonesty occurs on exam, the student will receive a 0 for the exam, and any incident of academic dishonesty may be reported to the business school and the University of Colorado, Denver for further action. And I've been here long enough where this further action has been suspension and expulsion or just an F for that semester. And so this is cheating is not why we're here. Academic dishonesty is not why we're here. So be very careful not to violate that, not to violate academic rules. Okay, very general policies. This is pretty much a summary of what I've already said. Assignments consist of homework assignments, and they're all submitted through Canvas. Each assignment not received has a grade of 0. No late assignments are accepted. End of the course, nothing accepted after end of the course. Here's academic dishonesty, I stated again. Now, conduct. Strict adherence to the code of conduct, as stated in the catalog of UCD, is expected by everyone at all times. What do you mean by everyone? Faculty, students, visitors, guests, anyone. Okay, staff, and these standards, this link will go to those code of conduct. University information, procedures, and policies that govern the university environment can be found through human resources. Now here are human resources, and this has to do with the HR policies. And so this link will take you to those policies for your purview. Next, FERPA rules. I want to mention FERPA, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. It's required by law. I will follow FERPA. In other words, people don't have a right to your grades. People don't have a right to what you put down. It's between me and you. If you give me permission to share that, I will. On the other hand, if people have a right to know within the university, I will share it, like to the registrar, your grade, to a faculty member, or to administration, or my the course coordinator who needs that information, only for a need to know basis, and I will not share it for anyone. And that has been a problem. Has not too much, but has been a problem where people say a faculty member wants to know what happened, and I said, I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you what happened. You have to ask them, or they give me the permission to tell you. Any current, next, any current or potential indication of violation of verbal or physical disruption or intimidation can be reported to the campus assessment, response, and evaluation called the CARE team. And this is the link to the CARE team. Now, what this means is it's not the police. It's not someone who's going to go in and arrest anyone or anything. What this is, and it's I want to emphasize the evaluation. And now, it's my understanding is that they will evaluate and assess what's going on. They will help people. If they get violent, it will help them. If they get confused or they say things that shouldn't be said and that might escalate, they will come in and evaluate and assess. And so I will see it. You will see it as a student. Staff will see it. This is where you have guidelines on how you report that. Any verbal or physical incidents of violent or disruptive behavior can be reported to the business school at the University College of Denver. Conduct, and by the way, this is for me. If I see any verbal intimidation, verbal disruption, physical incidents of violence, which I have, then I will report it. You have to leave. You cannot do it, and I will report it. I want a safe environment for all students to learn. Conduct also includes etiquette that is respectful to all people, the facilities, and the institution. And in the past, people have violated this, and I correct them. I challenge them. No. We will have respect for all people. We will have respect for the facilities that we're working in, and we will have respect for the institution that we are learning in. Commitment expectations. Taking this course represents your commitment to perform the work when due. Faculty policies have stated that classes in the business school should require of their students workload in and out of class that enhances quality education and is consistent with the amount of academic credit granted for a course. This course requires work on a regular basis. Now, this last statement is my statement. Policies in this syllabus apply to each student equally. I will consider special circumstances, but standards will not be compromised, and all work must be completed during the course. So this right here, there's a balance here. The policies and procedures in this syllabus, in this course, apply to every student. I will recognize special circumstances, but that will not violate the policy that the syllabus applies to every student, because within the standards, I will make allowances when possible. I will not lower the standards, and I will not violate any hard and fast rules within this course. Any action taken by me, for example, an example of this is that someone submitted it through Canvas. Their Canvas went down or something happened and they can't, but they email it with a date, time, and stamp. I will accept it. Okay, well, the policy says submit through Canvas. But special circumstances, you can't, because maybe Canvas went down when you tried to submit it or something happened, and you submit it through email or something. I will accept it. So that doesn't violate standards. It recognizes special circumstances. Any action taken by me that might be taken as varying from these policies shall not be caused to eliminate or alter any student's responsibility to adhere to all requirements of the course or to prevent my action enforcing policies in the course to every student. This is the end of my syllabus. Okay, and as it turns out, faculty have been required to include the following information in their syllabus, and I include the exact wording provided to faculty for your information. Okay, I'll go through this quickly. You can read it. They also wanted us to talk about student code of conduct, but they go deeper. Plagiarism, cheating, fabrication, falsification, misuse of academic materials, etc. Disability access. I didn't talk about this, but it's important. If you need disability access or special circumstances access, a disability just means you're challenged in certain ways, or you need special accommodations. You're not disabled to do the work. You're prevented from doing the work for special circumstances. Then use these services. Use these services. Non-discrimination, sexual misconduct. There's absolutely Title IX. There's absolutely no place for this. Is committed to maintain the UCD is committed to maintaining a positive learning, working, and living environment, and I totally agree with that. No discrimination, no sexual misconduct. Everything should be respectful. Statement on pronouns and preferred names. In this, some people are sensitive to their pronouns, preferred names, and I respect that. If I say something wrong or if I say something incorrect, then correct me. It's just because I forget or I make a mistake. It's out of ignorance. Just correct me, because I do want to refer to you the way you want to be referred to. Again, out of respect. And if I use a wrong word or whatever, it's out of ignorance. It's not out of disrespect, because I respect you. If you're a student, you have my respect. Diversity and inclusion. This is by Dr. Brenda Allen, and I understand what she says here. I understand what she's getting at. I would not say it this way. You belong here, as do your clan. You belong here if you had great teachers, positive experience. You belong here if you are these religions. You belong here. I would say it differently. I would say you belong here if you want to learn. These other things are no reasons why you can't learn. If you want to learn, I will teach you, and these things are not going to prevent me, whatever place you come from or views you have. If you want to learn, I will teach you. That's what I care about. I respect a student first. Okay, these other things, fine. That doesn't matter as far as learning is concerned. If you're here to learn, I will teach you. Okay, the Student Community Counseling Center. This is important. If you need help, everybody needs help. Everybody needs help from time to time. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. If you need help, use this help. It's a counseling center. It will help you. I've had military come back with PTSD. People have panic attacks, whatever. Use these services. Everybody needs help from time to time. And let's respect people when they need the help to make sure they get the help. Campus is out. Here's the CARE team again. And this is more information on it. I've already mentioned that. Land acknowledgement. This is interesting. This is by Gracie Richard Tyan, American Indian Student Services. Again, I understand what she's saying, and I kind of agree with what she says, but again, I would say it differently. And I think I have a right to say it differently because I live in the land. Basically, she's talking about acknowledgement that we reside in the homeland of indigenous peoples is an important step in recognizing the history and original stewards of these lands. The history, I would say history and culture. And again, respect for the indigenous people, for respect for the land, respect for the history, but also respect for the culture. Indigenous people have a different view of the land, of peoples, of their societies, a very different view than European cultures. And the Native Americans here, we see things differently. We see people as if you walk on the earth, then we respect that. Again, it goes back to respect. And so I agree with what she's saying, but it goes much deeper than just the land. It goes to how people view the land and how people view different peoples. Okay, important dates to remember. This is a calendar of events for the semester. Okay, Well, here's all the information. The syllabus, been a syllabus video. I hope this helps. And refer to the syllabus often as we go through the course, because it does provide a lot of good information. I hope this helps. Between now and the next time I see you, take care.